Hello and welcome to American Truck Simulator with me, Little Sawyer. You guys and girls may be wondering why we're standing outside a Tesla dealership. I've got to pick up a run from them, but I've also got this thing here, which is the Tesla truck. Now, I've seen a couple of people really slate this thing, and say it shouldn't be made, it's a work of the devil, Now, I admit, I'm off the bat, I am diesel / petrol head, so I do prefer the roar of a good solid lump of engine in front of me. But I'm not going to let that bias me. I thought I'd give this a try and show you guys and girls what this thing's all about. Again, I will leave a link in the description down below so you guys can have a look at it for yourselves. There's a few things. The detail on it's not too bad. It needs a little bit of work, don't get me wrong. It does need a lot of work, a fair amount of work, but you know, you can customise the wheels. I will show you how all this is all about in the workshop. There's only one gripe I've got with this thing, and one gripe only. This does work with the newest version as well, so bear that in mind. It does work with that. I'll jump in the cab so you guys can see it inside. It's a bit sparse, and I don't know why, but when you're inside cab view, the door is always open. I have no idea what that's all about. Maybe if I take the parking brake off, will it shut the door? No, it won't. It's always open from the inside. You can't see a great deal of detail because the light's not particularly great. The edging does need work, but you can still look out the cab if you need to. You do actually have mirrors here and here. You've got all your display there. You can cycle. I don't think you can cycle through the computer. What happens if I press R to reset it? Nothing. Cool. Right, let's release the brakes. One thing I will say about this thing, actually I'll show you where you find it in the workshop first of all. Once you've downloaded it, go to truck dealers, go to Pete Garage. I've just bought this thing. I have tried it off screen already, it's why I kind of know what this thing's limitations are already, but if I go to the buy online option, and then customize, I'll show you guys what it's all about. Right, you get two cabs with this. You get the sleeper and the sleeper with the raised roof. For maximum air efficiency. Only two chassis, they're both exactly the same, 6x4, but this one's got a larger tank. Only two engines, both of them are electric engines. To be fair, you can get away with running it on this one here. I have had a go of this engine here, and you can get away, it will work. It'll pull pretty much anything in that. And I'll go into details why. Only two gearboxes available. I would heavily suggest going for this 1-speed. You're going to sit there and go, what? And unfortunately, the 1-speed is just an automatic, which has got reverse and forward. Unless you like going around at 44 miles per hour, go for the 6-speed, please do. But it will drive you nuts, because you'll get to the limiter and you'll be bouncing off the limiter at 44, and you'll want to get out the truck and walk because it'd be quicker. Only one interior. Again, inside the workshop, the door is open again, and you can probably get a better look at the interior here. It is pretty bland. There's nothing real special about it. That door seems to be open too. You can select multiple colours. You can also select these do work. If I move that one down, you can see that one works, and if I move this up and down, you can see that also works. And then If I move this up and down, you should see that also works. Accessories are very few. Again, you can change your wheels out if you wish. You can stick whatever you like on there. I've just left the standard Tesla ones on here just for demonstration purposes. You only get 2 wheels with it, that one and that one, and you can't put anything extra on them, which is a shame. Doesn't even allow me, I don't believe, to change out the mirror options. You only got one sort of mirrors. I think this is the... Aha, yeah, you can actually add an interior light if you wish. I forgot to do that in my truck, but personal preference is up to you. You can actually have an interior light if you wish. And then you obviously... accessories inside, there are none, like I said. Right. And there's the interior light appearing there. You can have it in, or you don't have to have it in. It's up to you. Again, personal preference. What's over here? Again, there's mirrors. Right. You've got to. The only way you can get out, you've got this in your shop, is to confirm. You can't say no and just leave. You just got to confirm. That's the only way I found you can get out of the shop. But anyway, I've got a small run. This does come with its own trailers, but I couldn't actually find a Tesla trailer to go with it as a run. So, but what I'll do, I'll leave it out of gear actually. Put the brake on. I'll turn it on the outside and turn it back off for you guys to hear what it sounds like firing it up, running it. Now that's engine on. No, maybe it isn't engine on, it's engine ignition 1, sorry. There we go, it's engine on. You can hardly hear it, can you? You can hear something, but not a great deal. Turn the engine off again. It makes that ding. Let's go inside cab. Sam, again, I'll fire up. Just double check that doesn't crash. No, cool. You can hear again a rumble, but that's all you can hear. The only thing I would say in defense for this thing is looking at the GPS. That's a nice GPS, a nice big GPS. That is the only thing I like about this truck so far. Obviously the mirrors are quite good as well. If you don't want to look, if you don't have track IR like me, or if you're not lucky enough to have track IR, this is quite handy to looking at the mirrors, because you can more or less keep them in. If you pan the camera straight enough, you can more or less get the mirrors in shot. Let me just see if you can adjust any of the settings for the wheel settings. Turn those on, because they always switch off by default. I don't know what that's all about. You can adjust the mirrors. In fact, I might do that now, because these are set default and you're just looking at the truck, which is fine if you like looking at the truck. But if you actually need them to be practical, you do need them to be pointing out in the direction you want to point them out. So the bottom and the top one, the top and bottom ones do actually work. You can adjust them to a point. That's not a great adjustment, but it's usable. Let's check the right ones. Again, you can adjust that one and the small one. Let's tilt it down and try and cover as much of the blind spots as you can. I don't think this has a side one. No, it doesn't. See if the seat works. Seat does work. All the way forward, all the way forward and back, and all the way down, all the way up. Let's just go back a bit and down. So see if this wheel moves. Let's try the wheel. Does the wheel adjust? Yes, the wheel does adjust to level as well, so that pitch, and obviously you can bring it closer towards you. And if you don't like it, you can push it away from you. So that all works pretty well. Let's go and pick up this job. Put it in gear. I've just noticed you will have a bit of glitching into the seat if you have if the seat adjusted back like we've just did. So I'm going to adjust that forward or reset to default again. There we go. It's probably better. Right, okay. Let's turn the brake off. And then pick up the load. Wipers. Let's test all the lights and wipers actually. Take it out of gear. Right. Looks like lights are working. Wiper signals do show up on the inside. I'll show them all again on the outside in a sec. No generic horn, but it's got the standard in horn is that. So the wiper looks like something out of Alien. Right, let's go on the outside view, and then let's turn the lights all back off again. So that's just turn those hazards off. Right, that's with this lights off, and then when you put it to side lights, it comes up like that, and the main beams on like that. Or well, main beam, but main lights. Sorry, pressed the wrong button. Wiper does work on the outside, and you can flick between. Full beam or not full beam. Doesn't look like any different. Let's look inside the cab. Try that again. Yeah, it does look different on the outside. Let's quickly look on the inside, the outside. Similar. Right, okay. Put it back in gear and turn this wiper off before it drives me nuts. Turn those lights out as well, because we don't need them right now. Another thing I would say about this, again, I'm being overly harsh on this because I'm sure the modder will sort of like correct some of these issues with this thing. It is an automatic, and I know automatics all have the same generic problems. They tend to be better in bigger vehicles though, they don't tend to be as fussy as this is. This is the thing I would say you're going to struggle with this thing. It's fine in forwards, because you just give it a bleep of acceleration, it just starts creeping along. In reverse, I can get it into reverse, there we go. You don't want to give it any acceleration at all. In fact, you probably want to ride the brake or ride the clutch, whatever you prefer to do. I'd say a combination of the two, probably preferable. And I've not put any acceleration on that at all. It's all doing it myself. Because I don't have advanced trailer coupling on this. Obviously I've got modded trailers as well. I don't know if it works for that. You guys and girls have to try that for yourself. Put the brake on, turn the electrics off because it is just electric. You guys might be wondering, how do you fill it up? As I jump under the truck. Wow. As I jump under the truck to go and hitch up. It works the same principle as just filling up any conventional truck. You pull up to a petrol station and then press T and you're good to go. Or press enter and you're good to go, I should say. Let's hitch it up. I wasn't quite in line there, but and then jump back in the thing. See, again, doors open, nice air conditioning, I guess. Let's put the trailer brake on as well. Fire it up. Keep revving it because I think, is it running or not? Because it's automatic, it shouldn't stall out. Okay, the trailer brake is holding. Now I gave it a little tap on the accelerator there, but you can just leave it. If you just, oh, it actually did slow down there. So it has a bit of physics in it, which is good. But it does need working on, I'd say. Because typically a normal auto, you don't necessarily have to put your foot on the brake all the time. You can just let off the brake and it'll just hold it there. On smaller cars it would probably be a bit of a different ball game, but what's going on here? Why is that dude, I don't know, that dude's crashed there for some reason. Right, I'm gonna cut in front of him then if I can. Oh no, Mr. Dude, don't. Okay. I'm gonna get plagued by truck after truck after lorry after truck, lorry, bus. All going very snail's pace. I'm probably going to damage something. Yeah, me mainly, because that guy's parked in the way. It's either that or clip the trailer, I think. But it's immensely quiet. One thing I will say in its defence, if you're, it's a bad thing if you're a lead foot like me, but it's a good thing if you're a speed demon. I'm going to wind it up and I'll show you what I mean. Another good thing is you don't necessarily need to put it on cruise control as well. If you just let off the accelerator, it more or less pulls itself along until you hit a big hill, then it'll start to slow down. But you do tend to find yourself sort of poised over the brake a lot more than you'd naturally be. Again, I'm always been more of a manual person to automatics anyway. I never liked automatics for these reasons, because I never felt really in control of the thing. But anyway, as you can see, we're now nearly enough. Actually, I better bring up my. Ooh, go. I'm going the right way. I'll bring up the speed info so you guys can see what I'm doing. Right, I'm going to plant my foot down. This is probably going to be a bad mistake, because anything over 60 on this thing is going to get twitchy. 100. Almost 115. I would like to go to show you guys how quick this thing can really go. I got it up to 120 and it was still creeping up. I started running out of road and it was getting pretty scary, admittedly. You need a nice long straight bit of road to try and see what its top end speed is. But again, because I'm lead footed, I'm finding myself, because I put my foot on the accelerator, because I naturally would, to get more speed, that I find I'm speeding a lot quicker than I normally would on this thing. Again, that's not really the modder's fault, that's user error, but I put the cruise control on anyway to try and keep it within a sensible margin. As a concept, don't get me wrong, I think it's a nice idea. You know, it is a realistic thing and a realistic avenue that trucks will be eventually having to go through. Most, you know, eventually the fossil fuels will be depleted, there'll be no oil left, there'll be no gas left, there'll be, you know, and so cars and any vehicle is going to have to be electric or hydrogen powered at least, because there'll just be no other option. So, you know, in the future this will be probably the norm of the trucks. They're all probably similar. Well, newer trucks tend to look similar now anyway. If you look at a newish Peterbilt and a newish Kenworth, the slimline versions, they tend to be pretty generic looking anyway. They look pretty similar from a distance anyway. You wouldn't know what the differences were until you got close up. We'll get into that other lane, I think. Again, oh, the door is closed now. I don't know when the door become closed. When we hitched up, maybe? Or maybe when the parking brake is set, the door opens. There'd be only one way to find out. When we come to another stop, I will find out. But to be honest, again, it doesn't handle too badly. It does what it needs, what you want it to do. It's not overly twitchy, apart from when you're going stupidly fast like we were. It will turn like you ask it to. The only other thing I would say again, if you've got a lower end PC, you might find that this really hits on the frames, because this, every now and again I get a bit of a frame hit on this and again it took a bit longer to load in after purchasing it, when you're getting to drive it and stuff like that. Tend to have other issues like that. So if you've got a lower end PC, you might find it makes your PC struggle on a higher settings. I don't know whether it's just because of the lines or what, or it's conflicting with something else. If you're a big fan of autos, then you'd love this thing. If you're a big fan of modern technology, again, you'd love this thing. And again, it adds a bit of variety into the game. Gives you another rig to play with, I guess. But I'm sorry, but it's just not my cup of tea. And I'm not saying that because it is what it is, an electric vehicle. It's just I am a petrol head, and I guess I am biased towards listening to the sound of an engine. And eventually most of the trucks will be autonomously driven anyway, so there will be electric, there'll be no driver, it's be all operated by a computer. Most cars at some point will end up down that route as well. You just jump in it and it'll drive you to where you want it to go. As for economic, well, this thing, I literally did, I think, 1,100 mile run on this thing, and it didn't need to fill it up. It was only just getting below sort of like half a tank. So, you know, fuel savings, well, electric savings would be the right terminology. Are amazing. It's got a fair old range on it. I don't know how realistic it would be to the actual real Tesla truck, because I guess this is based off the real Tesla truck. But because I think it's 800 miles from remembering something I watched once on a blog on the new Tesla truck. You could get 800 miles on a single charge or something. But again, that's subjective to proper charging, proper usage, etc., etc. Maintaining an average speed rather than just flooring it all the time, all that good stuff. Well, I'll do some outside shots of this actually. Oh, I've got a minute. See what I mean about the frame lag? I've just pressed enter and it's just almost nearly locked my game up. So photo mode. What side's the light better on? Let's say this side. Focus in position. Ching, that'll do for the thimble. Let's escape out of that and jump back in the truck. Try not to crash. There goes Mr. Plod. Can't do me for speeding today. Mind you can probably outrun the coppers in this thing if it can go to those seriously silly speeds. I can believe it when I tried it. It was just like, yeah, 120. Okay, 130. Yeah. It was getting seriously scary at that sort of level. But what I wanted to say, sorry if there's been lack of videos last week. My mind wasn't really in for doing recordings. Just a lot of personal stuff going on. Can't really go into. And it just had a knock-on effect to me, and I was just, my heart wasn't in doing any recordings at the time, so I was just, yeah. I'm just going to chill out. I played a bit of House Flipper. I will do another episode of that. I've done a bit of, well, a fair amount of what I'd call grinding off screen, just to reduce the repetitiveness of it. I found I've sold one house already. Well, I've sold two houses actually. And I've got another one which I bought. I might move the office to that. I'm not 100% sure, but I found there's a couple of interesting missions on there, and I don't know where to go, because initially I'll tell you what I did. I did a few recordings. I initially did a few recordings of me playing it, but after watching the footage, it just, you know, I was like, there's no way I could really adequately make it into an enjoyable session. I'd have to fast forward a lot of the house flip, and then it would have been me initially talking at the beginning, speeding. Well, it shouldn't be, because cruise control should be slowing me down, not speeding me up. Obviously this thing doesn't have a Jake. I don't think it has a Jake. Shouldn't do. No. It does not. Should have a retarder. Oh no, it doesn't have a retarder either. So I'm going to press the brake a bit. Just to slow it down. and then press resume, and hopefully it should just pick itself back up where it left off. I need to be in the other lane as well, I think. Sorry mate, sorry! Caught me unawares. But it's not a bad game, Old Fail Flipper. I got a lot of interest on it. You know, fair amount of views. I think it's over 20 views, which is not unusual for us as a channel. And I got a few likes off it. So what I'll do, I'll do the next episode of this interesting mission I found, and see if you guys still take to it. And then if you guys really want to see me flip a house, then I'll do a recording of me actually flipping the house. I may have to edit it in a way so then it fits within half hour, because it took me like 3 hours just to flip one house. So I don't want to obviously do a 3-hour video, because that would, you guys are going to be bored within about half hour. A stream's a different matter. Something which would probably lend itself more to would be streaming, because with streaming, obviously it's more forgivable having a 2-hour session or whatever. With obviously recordings, you want to try. Well, I try and limit mine to half hour, unless I have to go over for any said reason. See, it's not even touched the tank really. It's only used a little tiny bit of the tank. We've done a fair amount of mileage already. I know we're sort of like just plodding along, you know, 55, but. I haven't done the Sims Dash stuff yet. I will work on that. I just thought I'd bring you this and everything else. Again, for you guys don't watch anything else, have a look at Shape the World, or Shape of the World. Again, it's an interesting little game. I don't know if it's, like I said when I did the recording, I don't know if it's got the legs to really make it into a Let's Play, but it's a different sort of game for this channel really. It's something that's out of my remit normally. I tend to lend myself more towards simulators and stuff like that, stuff that's a bit more family friendly, which the game is actually family friendly. It's not a game you'd have to think about either. This tends to do that to you. This game you do have to think, but you don't have to think at the same time. You tend to hit better turn lights off actually. An autopilot mode. So I don't think the full lights is necessary. Just use it sides for now. Try and get some crazy shots done as well if I can. See, that's the road noise on the outside. It's just whispering really. No scream of a Cummins or DD engine here. Just the quiet whir of an electric motor. Apart from the trucks across the road. Whoa! That's me. Crept over too much. Oh well. Better slow down as well. Before we cause another accident on top of a railroad, and it looks like another accident. Wow, what happened there? Looks like he lost his load. Yeah, he's lost his load. Poor guy. Initial response out of this thing is not great. You really, again, although it does creep forward, you put your foot on the accelerator and it takes a while for it to really get up to any speed, but once it starts going, it's going like a freight train. I'm going to say resume on the cruise control and turn the main lights on now. I think it warrants them. How many miles have we got left? Not that many. I'll just extend it. I've probably gone a little bit over my half-hour slot. Forgive me in advance if it has. Keeping drifting as well just doesn't help. Maintaining adequate or even decent discipline. This will be a good test to see if the lights are any good in the evening as well. They look like they're lighting up, but they should light up from here. Unlike that other truck I had that needed the update and was driving blind for a short while. I've made a start for you guys that do watch this and Euro Truck Simulator. I've made a start on the start your engines stuff. I don't typically tend to do that stuff. The only reason why I don't typically do it is one reason only. It limits your top speed to 55 and it drives me nuts. I know it's only 5 miles an hour difference, but it's enough to just drive me nuts. I've done a couple runs. I will see if I can get if it's still actually active. I will see if I can get another run in with you guys and girls. Right, brake is on. Okay, the door is no longer open. I don't know what that's about, if that's because we've now got a trailer on it or not. Might be a thing with the trailers. And of course the modder may come in and improve some of these things at some point as well. Trailers on the line. I do like the sound of the brakes. There's little things I like about this thing. If it had a better gearbox, I'd probably drive it a bit more. Again, I know it's supposed to be automatic. Ooh, stop. But see, look, I won't put the brake on. I've just released my foot off the brake, and it's creeping forward on its own, which I don't need to necessarily do when I'm in a standard truck. It'd just sit there and idle, and I could put it in neutral, I guess. That would be an option. Now, do we continue going straight? I just wish it had a proper 18-speed box that didn't limit you to 44 miles an hour, and I'd probably drive it a bit more. Because again, you could put your foot on the clutch and just ride the clutch while you're at a stop, or we could just put it into neutral again. That'd be another option. But it's just it's probably my petrol head, being my petrol diesel head / diesel head, I should say, and the fact that I just prefer driving manual to automatic. but I couldn't abide sticking that 6-speed in and only going 44. That drove me crazy. This thing catches off guard very quickly because I put my foot down on the accelerator because the fact that it was creeping off quite well, and I just feathered it like I normally would, and it was going quicker than I expected very quickly. Need to turn in here. This is where it gets difficult because of the whole thing, the gearbox problem. So you can hold your foot on the clutch. If you put your foot on the clutch, you get it does pick up on the idle. Where do you need it? Go on, this is going to be challenging. I'll put the hazards on as well. Careful here. I think it's in there. Yeah, it's in there. Whoops, easy. What's that trailer doing? Nowhere near where I need it to be yet. Alright, that's roughly. Pull out a little bit more. Again, because you're riding the brakes constantly, you find yourself bleeding your brake system out very quickly. Whoa! I'm gonna get out of this, peeps, because this thing is, because I only bleeped the accelerator a little bit there. And that thing just starts flying off like nobody's business. I've got an idea how to get around this problem. Right, shut that digger. See what I mean? I just tapped the accelerator and then it just went nuts. I'm just gonna let it just do it. Just let it naturally pick up. And even if this was without any influence on the pedal at all, it's starting to go madly out of control already. Going quicker than I'd like it. But yet when you're forward, it creeps along. Initially. Now it should be easy enough from here. I don't think it's great parking, Kev, but it'll do for government work. Yeah, I do. Yeah, see, our brake system's down to 40, just over 40 bar according to my pressure gauge. Right, engine off, electrics off, lights off, detach. That was rubbish parking here. Excellent. But I'll leave it at peeps. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed it. Again, I will leave a link in the description down below so you can have have a go on this thing for yourself. I probably didn't do it the best review because I am partial to diesels and petrol engines, but I thought I'd give it a go anyway, just to show you guys what it's all about. But if you did enjoy it, please feel free to like. If you didn't enjoy it for any reason, please feel free to dislike, but please leave a comment down below so then I can improve in the future. And if you know anyone else that may also enjoy watching this, guys and girls, please feel free to share. It helps me out a lot and I don't mind you sharing. And if you're new to my channel and you see future episodes of this or anything else I'm working on, please don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. TTFN. So just a quickie, I've realised why the doors are open. Right, look, when you turn the engine on, or ignition on I should say, the doors shut. It's still beeping at me because the air pressure problem, but when you turn the engine back off again, the doors open again. So it isn't a glitch, it's just the doors open and shut with the engine off. Obviously in real life you wouldn't want that open if you're going to, although this doesn't have a sleeper in here, I don't think, it's just a load of rear seats. So you don't obviously want to shut your door, wouldn't want to leave it open. But anyway, have a good day.